It's been 6 months since we moved from the US to Germany, and here is an honest update on how it's been going. Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli.
And I'm Ben.
And together we moved from Cincinnati, Ohio to Munich, Germany about 6 months ago. Now, I'm from Munich originally. I was born and raised here and didn't move to the US until I was 22. So for me, this was moving back home, basically. Ben, on the other hand, has lived in the US his entire life, and this is the very first time for him that he's living abroad, so we didn't really know how it would be going for him.
It's been a pretty big learning process.
The last update we gave you guys was 2 months into living here, so it's definitely time for another update because a lot has happened since then. And to make sure that we answer as many of your questions as possible, I asked you guys on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube what you wanted to know from us, and the list of questions was long, so please understand that we won't be able to answer every single one of them, but I did put together quite a long list regardless, so I think we'll cover a good amount of topics. Okay, so the number one question was, how is Ben's German coming along? How is he dealing with the language barrier? Has he been taking classes? Do we speak German at home? Etc. But because that's such a big topic, we decided that we'll answer that question in a separate video on Wednesday. So set yourself a reminder and be sure to check it out once that video is out to hear all of the updates on Ben's language learning journey. Okay, I kind of organized them by category. First category is general. How is Ben settling in there? After the newness wears off and you realize you're not just on a trip, the brain can react differently than one might expect. Are you feeling like a guest, an alien, or settled, or something else entirely? Similarly, Feli, coming home doesn't always feel the same as it once did. Is it feeling like home or like a visit that has lasted a little too long? It's a really good question.
I think I'm settling in great. It's been very fluid. I mean, there are some rough days, admittedly, and she helps me with it. And the safety net that I have here with your family and friends, and Germans are very loyal. So if you tell them that I'm kind of struggling with the move or certain aspects of it, the people that are close to you will do everything they can to help you fix that issue. But really, the biggest thing for me is the language. So I don't feel like an alien. I don't feel like an outsider. People are very welcoming. And I think I mentioned this in the 2-month update, but it's just the everyday conversations that I somewhat miss that is holding me back from feeling truly integrated into the society.
Yeah, I mean, we will talk a little bit more about that in the language video, but I think that's really the part where even I, as someone who moved to the US and my English was pretty good at the time already, but I still wasn't able to just, a lot of the small talk was difficult for me because I didn't have a lot of these everyday phrases in my active vocabulary. And then when I was in social settings and people were joking around, a lot of the jokes, first of all, went right by my head. And then when I wanted to make a joke, by the time that I had all the right words together in my head, the moment had already passed.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the part where in every language, once you get to that point, that's when you really feel like you're fluent.
Yeah, you're fluent. And that's also kind of other than just knowing the language, that's whenever I belong here, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then this is another thing that I tried to understand what you said, but until we moved here, I didn't fully understand it. I wish people could understand how funny I am in my native language. I am funny.
But the good thing is for you that people do speak English.
Yeah.
And we speak English with people in a lot of settings. Like the other day we had a little wine tasting game night kind of thing. And I think we mostly spoke English that night.
Oh yeah, and they all keep up.
And then when you joke, they do understand it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just
sometimes then their English isn't good enough to understand your jokes.
Yeah,
so.
and I have a bad habit of talking in slang a lot. So, but then you'll just see them pause for a second and then it'll take 4 or 5 seconds for them to register and oh, that was a joke and that was funny.
Yeah.
And then they'll laugh.
Yeah.
But then, it's just the difference of it. So.
But generally speaking, do you feel at home here? Do you feel like you settled in? Is Munich currently
Yes.
home?
Yeah. I love Munich. I love it here. It's welcome to me. I hope that I can treat it as well as it's treated me.
So it doesn't feel like you're just visiting?
No.
Okay.
No,
I think
not
the
anymore.
big difference is also that we have our own place here. And this is one thing that we've been saying from the very beginning. We have the cats here. And I don't know if you guys can relate, but I think for us, in the past, every time we've visited, we've stayed at my parents' place. Obviously, our house and the cats, everything stayed back home. And we would check in how everything is going back home. But now this is back home. And I think the cats actually play a pretty big role in that because to us, wherever the cats are is where home is.
Yeah.
And then of course we have our own place now. So like just having your own household, I think, makes a place feel a lot more like home. And then you have your regular places that you go to. You have your stores that you go to. You have the products that you keep getting. You have all those little routines. And I think that definitely happened pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I feel like that definitely made it feel like home.
The kitties are our constant, and our home is our base, and it's like our safe spot here. And I need that. Like, admittedly, I need that because I'm still in a new place.
Yeah. Now, for me, I also definitely feel like I'm living here again. It doesn't feel like a visit that lasted too long. However, it's definitely been weird for me too, in a way, because obviously I know Germany, I know Munich, and I know it super well, and I have visited regularly over the last 9 years that I lived in the US, so it doesn't feel like I'm just coming back to this strange place. But what was weird at first is that I now have my own place again here in a whole new neighborhood of Munich that I've never lived in. And I've caught myself kind of slipping back into like my old self every now and then. I talked about this with Josh the other day a little bit more extensively because we've had a whole episode on the Understanding Train Station podcast years ago where we talked about having different personalities in different languages. And I don't think it just goes for the languages, it also goes for the places. Because you just adjust to how the culture works, and that just creates a slightly different personality in that sense because you will act differently, you will speak differently, you will use different phrasings in different situations. And I've kind of noticed how being back here has, in some situations, made my old German personality come back in ways that I didn't really want it to come back. I've caught myself in conversations being like overly critical, for example. I think it's a little bit the environment and just being like thrown back to, you know, all my old memories that suddenly I'm just noticing personality traits that I used to have because I feel like they're just very German that I don't really want to have anymore. Like I like that I have kind of dropped them while I was in the US. And that's been a little bit of a journey where I had to kind of, I guess, find myself again in a way. And I think I'm still on that journey where I want and need to find a balance between my American personality, so to say, and my German personality, and how to keep all those things that I loved and still love about American mentality during our life here in Germany. I think for me, one of the big things though, that's super important is having Ben with me. Like I think if I had ever moved back to Germany by myself, that would have become really difficult unless I had maybe just found a whole American friend bubble or something like that. But right now, for me, like having you with me is super important because you know me in the US. You know my American personality. You know everything I've experienced in the US for the last 5 years. Yeah. We have built that entire life together, but you also know me in Germany because even before this move, we've spent so much time in Germany together as well. You're that little like reminder that like keeps my American part anchored. And I get to speak English at home too, which I personally enjoy.
I personally enjoy it too.
So like for me, without you, I feel like I would lose my American personality a lot more.
Can I say something on this really quick? The one thing that I've observed about her coming over here is that there's been multiple times where we'll engage like just social interaction or customer service at a store. And she'll like get done with it and she'll come up to me, we'll be walking away and she'll be like, oh, Germans. I'm not used to this anymore.
What was your biggest culture shock, Ben?
Ooh. Okay, I knew this was going to happen, but the speed at which it happened really shocked me. But my adoption and trust in public transportation and like riding a bike or walking, it just like kind of really shocked me. I went back to the US and I was like, I don't want to be in a car. Like it took us one day of driving around and before you knew it, we were in like a car for a combined 2 hours out of the day, which is pretty average in the US.
To give you guys some background information, we're recording this video after we've already completed our first visit back home to the US. There will be more videos about that as well. But yeah, that way we can already put things a little bit more into perspective, I think. Yeah. So you're saying your biggest culture shock was basically not really a shock, but it was how quickly you embraced public transportation.
I didn't even want to drive.
Okay.
Like straight up. Like,
so that was something you didn't expect.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Because like driving is almost therapeutic.
And we have a car.
Yeah, we do. We have a super nice car, but it's just so convenient. Yeah. Like it's so convenient. The S-Bahn, the U-Bahn, the bike, the Miles cars. There's just so many different ways to get around, and I love it.
Just for context, Miles is a car sharing brand. The cars are just parked all over the city basically, and you can just open them with an app, rent them through the app, and then leave them wherever you want to park them. So it's super convenient. And we've used them a lot whenever we needed to move furniture because they also have vans and stuff like that.
Which if you're a foreigner in the US, you might be shocked. It's called Miles, but you'll see MILF's cars driving around.
Because they have the stickers, and a lot of people like scrape off the part of the E to make it an
So you
F.
might be mistaken to think that is the name.
Someone asked, is there anything that Ben still hasn't adjusted to yet?
Nothing really big. The one thing is the Parkschreiber. Okay. So the little parking disc that you put on your dashboard whenever you park in a spot that tells the parking person what time that you showed up. And if it goes past a certain time period, then you will get a ticket. I got us a ticket. That's on me.
One time. You've learned your lesson. It's fine. You also don't need to always use that. It's just, it'll be marked at the parking lot or parking spot. If you do need to use a Parkscheibe, it's basically just to make sure that people don't park there for too long, usually when it's like customer parking or something like that. We did actually show that in our grocery store video from a few weeks ago. I'll link that down below for you guys. Did one or both of you have moments where you wanted to go back to the US?
Yeah, I think on like the holidays and like birthdays and stuff like that. Or my father had surgery, and just being so far away, and my mind roams a lot. I'm a overthinker, very much so. And, you know, it just, the distance and everything, it just took me a little bit of getting used to. The big thing is I just wish I could have all the people over there experience this place with you. Which that'll happen soon, but that's the biggest thing, is that sometimes like I'll be walking around Munich and I want to stay here. I don't want to go back home, but I want to experience it with the people that I love. Yeah.
I think I've had those moments the same way that I've had them the other way around when I was living in the US. Just every now and then, I just get this like sudden feeling of, oh, I wish I could do this and this right now. Like I wish I could go to Kroger at 11 p.m. right now. I wish we could go to the riverfront in Cincinnati right now. I wish we could go to this rooftop bar right now. Like just, you know, random things that we used to do in the US. I just sometimes wish I could just teleport myself over there, do this one thing, and then come back. Yeah. And that's how I've been feeling about Germany for the last 9 years. Like every now and then I'd be like, oh, I wish I could ride my bike right now. I wish I could go to this place right now. And that's just always how it's gonna be, I think. But I haven't really had like a big moment where I was like, I've been feeling homesick for the US for an extended period of time or anything like that.
But I don't know if it's because I'm still in like the honeymoon phase or whatnot, but like we said earlier about being back in the US, it took me one day of driving to be like, I want to go back to Germany because I'm tired of this.
Which I feel like that leads into another question that a lot of you guys have been wanting to know. Have you guys already decided if you're going to stay in Germany or move back to the States after a year?
We're staying for another year.
So we haven't fully signed everything yet, but as of right now, our plan is to stay another year after that first year. Things have definitely been going better than expected. Like, you know, nobody is terribly homesick. Everything is going great here. And we're kind of just fully settling in. I think the first half year of us being here was very busy, I guess. Very intense. We just had a lot going on. I mean, first of all, we've been catching up a lot with friends and family on my side. As soon as we got here, it was Oktoberfest. Then it was like Christmas coming up. We had 2 group trips that we hosted during Christmas time. Then it was New Year's Eve. Then we were trying to do stuff around the house. Again, still like trying to be there for every single birthday and every single event.
Trying to set up my company, trying to get my work permit, trying to do all the bureaucracy. Just so much in between.
And we feel like we kind of just now fully got settled here. And so moving again in a half year would kind of feel too soon. So we want to give it another year and then see from there. But I'm also just now realizing that everything I've just said in the last 2 minutes makes it sound like we don't ever plan on moving back to the US. At least for me, that's not the case. I definitely miss the US enough that I do want to live there again at some point in the future. But we'll see how everything plays out, how things develop in that country. But if it was up to me, I would like to at least live there again temporarily or permanently again at some point. Or we'll kind of play it by ear.
I'm totally down to live back in the US again, but I'm enjoying it here.
Then you just mentioned your work. Yeah. A lot of people wanted to know, is Ben allowed to work yet?
Yeah, this is one of the shocking things. We just talked about us going through the bureaucracy, getting everything set up, and one of the many things that made us moving here so intense is getting the work permit and the residency and everything. And I thought I would get it for a year, maybe 2, I got it for 4 years. So yeah, I'm allowed to work. I'm allowed to work for up to 4 years. I'm allowed to be here for up to 4 years. And then we're kind of debating the topic of, do we stay here for another year after this next one to make it 3 years? Because then I would be up for German citizenship.
Yeah, that's true. That was another question. Since you and Ben are married, would that make him a German citizen?
Not right now.
The answer is no, not right now. That's, I think, a misconception that a lot of people have, is that once you marry someone from another country, that you just become a citizen of that country. Citizenship is like a whole different thing from being able to live and work somewhere legally. So like, for example, for the US, if you have a work permit or like, you know, a work visa such as an H-1B, or there's other work visas as well, or you have a green card, which is basically like the highest level of a work visa, because you get to live there indefinitely, you get to be unemployed, you get to be self-employed, etc. on a green card, but you're still not a citizen. A citizen is like the highest level of the immigration process, basically. And just by marrying someone from another country, that does not automatically make you a citizen of that country. However, it does grant you certain rights, such as for Ben now. He is now allowed to live in Germany with me and apply through the marriage, basically. But the cool thing is, usually in Germany, the rule is that after you've lived in the country legally for 5 years, and then you also have to fulfill a few other requirements, such as a language requirement, you have to pass a citizenship test, you have to be financially independent, etc. Then after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. The cool thing for Ben is that if you're married to a German citizen and you've been married for at least 2 years at the point of applying for citizenship, then you only need to live in the country for 3 years legally.
3.
So,
see that?
3, the German 3, you've adjusted. They can just give it to you right now.
I know.
Like, oh, you do the 3 like that? Yeah, you're good to go. Speaking of German citizenship, I know that a lot of you guys have German ancestry, which, by the way, there were also a lot of questions about whether you have German ancestry.
Yeah, I have family that actually came from Bavaria.
Yep, one side of the family.
Yeah, my mom's side.
And if you're in a similar situation and your family came from Germany too a few generations ago, you might be eligible to claim German citizenship today. Many people don't know this, but because German citizenship is based on descent, a lot of descendants of Germans who immigrated to the US or other parts of the world decades ago do actually have a right to German citizenship to this day. Ben isn't eligible for German citizenship by descent, unfortunately, because yes, there are rules as to who is eligible and who isn't based on your family tree and immigration timeline. And figuring all of that out and collecting all of the necessary birth certificates and marriage records and so on can be really difficult. So that's where most people get stuck in the process, which is understandable. But it doesn't have to be like that, because there are people who specialize in this and who can help you through the process and ultimately get you your German citizenship. And that's why I've been partnering with Athena Genealogy, because they have completed hundreds of successful cases already. They can determine if you're eligible for German citizenship by descent, and if you are, they'll help you track down all of the required documents. They can even drive up to archives here in Germany that don't have a digitalized database yet. They can have documents translated for you, and they help you communicate with the German authorities and fill out all of the paperwork you'll have to go through. So if you want to know if you qualify for German citizenship, just go to athena-genealogy.com, fill out the short questionnaire, and book your free discovery call where your individual case will be reviewed. So shout out to Athena Genealogy for partnering with me, and if you want to get the ball rolling, just check out their website, and of course you can also find all of the information down below. There was another citizenship related question, maybe a bit too forward, but if you have children, will they have dual citizenship? And the answer is yes, they will automatically be both American and German citizens.
Yes, gladly.
It doesn't matter if they are born in Germany or in the US.
Yes.
Like, just because they have us as parents, American citizen, American and German citizen, they will automatically have both citizenships.
And bilingual.
And bilingual.
If
I mean, that's
trilingual.
not automatic. That's only if we play our cards right, but that's our plan.
That's a very big sticking point to me.
Yes. And then this question was weird. Someone asked, are you still planning to renounce US citizenship? I don't know if they're getting us confused with someone else, but we don't plan on getting our US citizenship removed.
No.
I don't think we ever said that anywhere. Not the plan right now. No. I know that there's some people who move abroad and then renounce their US citizenship mainly to get out of the tax obligations. It actually costs something to renounce your US citizenship.
Expensive.
I think they just dropped the price a little bit, but
Okay.
you still have to pay something, but not our plan.
Yeah. Honestly, I love being an American. Despite everything that's all the craziness that's going on in the world, I love being an American. I'm never going to renounce my U.S. citizenship. And if all else fails and I'm in some country and shit hits the fan, I don't mind being picked up off of the roof of an embassy, like out of a helicopter. Come and help me.
That sounds like you're dreaming about an action movie or something.
Well, I feel like ask anybody that remembers the Vietnam era, and that is just burned into their mind. Sorry, didn't mean to get dark there.
Okay, we're noticing that we've already been going for a while, so we'll answer a few more questions, and then the rest of my pretty long list we'll just have to answer in the next video. We'll just try and do more regular Q&A videos for you guys.
I like these.
Ben, now that you've experienced a winter in Germany, how does it compare to a winter in Cincinnati?
Ooh, I'd say it's about the same, like temperature-wise.
Yeah.
Cincinnati actually got way more snow than we did here.
And we got a lot of snow this year too.
We got a lot of snow, but Cincinnati got a whole lot. The big difference that I noticed, and it really, really affected me, that was sort of a shock that I did not get used to, was how dark it got very early in the winter.
It gets dark around 4 p.m. in the winter.
Yeah, 4:30.
It's a whole hour earlier than in Cincinnati. Cincinnati also gets dark early in the winter, we thought, but we never really noticed that it's like a whole hour earlier in Germany, which makes sense. I mean, Munich is pretty far south within Germany, so it's even worse if you're in northern Germany, but Germany in general is just a lot further north than the entire US.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati, I think, is like on the same level as like Naples, Italy, or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm a geography guy, but I didn't know that. But no, we have a friend that's actually a viewer, Tim. Hi, Tim. He lives in Norway, and I was talking to him during the group trip, and he was like, yeah, dude, it's getting dark right now in Oslo at like 2:30, 3:30, something like that. And I was like, if it gets any darker any earlier, like, people told me that seasonal depression was a thing over here.
It is.
They're not lying. It is a real thing.
Yeah. And I will say another difference between Cincinnati winter and Munich winter is also that Munich winter, or German winter in general, just drags on for a lot longer. It can be pretty warm in November still in Cincinnati. Like I've experienced several times where it was like in the 70s in November in Cincinnati. Not in Munich. No. Winter starts a lot earlier and drags on a little bit longer.
I will say that, the Christmas trips that we did made winter very much more bearable. Yeah. It was beautiful. Because
you're just like at beautiful Christmas markets, drinking mulled wine. Yeah.
Like you can't go wrong there. And then now I always heard stories from her like, oh, spring is so big in Germany. Like everyone celebrates it. And now I get why. Because like once the time does change here, it's 2 weeks after the time changed in the US. But once it does change here, it stays way brighter for way longer. The trees start to change, and then Frühlingsfest is coming here, and like everyone starts to like wake up, and as soon as the first warm day is out, we like drove by the Isar.
Everyone and their mom is out.
You couldn't see grass or gravel. Like it was just hair and like half-naked Germans. I was like, it's 60 degrees, guys.
Doesn't matter. If the sun is out, the sun is out, and you gotta celebrate that. Okay, so this couple apparently is moving to Munich as well, and they want to know, what are the best 2 pieces of advice for an American wife and a Bavarian husband moving from New York City to Munich?
It's quite the change. I would say the biggest piece of advice is just stay open-minded and rely on your partner whenever, and don't let it hit your pride whenever you need to ask for help. Because I had to learn that. She knows this. If anybody else knows me, I'm a prideful person. Like, it's hard for me to ask for help sometimes. And that's one of the biggest processes, biggest ways that I've grown over the 6 months is I just got to ask for help.
Yeah. I think that's the case for everyone moving abroad. Like for me, that's pretty much all I did when I first moved to the US. I always gave people a disclaimer. I was always like, hi, I'm Feli. I'm a German exchange student, just so that they knew that I might ask really stupid questions next. And then I would just ask, all kinds of things. And you had to learn that too.
Yeah. But also just in terms of open-mindedness, you're going to run into things that you're not used to. Whether it's normal here or something like spur of the moment that's just crazy, just go along with it. It's an adventure, and the adventure doesn't start until something goes wrong. So just have fun.
On that note, how has living in Germany impacted your relationship?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I think I've become more reliant on Feli in a lot of ways because that's just part of the natural process of doing this. But also, I think that we've grown in ways that we otherwise wouldn't have if we didn't take such a big leap. And then also, I'm learning German. So I can finally, like she was saying, her personality is a little bit different in German. While I can't fully understand that yet because the language comprehension isn't there, I'm getting there, baby steps, and that's a big, big thing for me. That's a big point of learning for me.
Yeah. My first thought was that our relationship hasn't really changed after the move, but now that you're saying that, I feel like, honestly, it probably has changed in a way that we now know that nothing can really break the relationship. Like it wasn't really a toll on our relationship, I don't think, the move. And it kind of showed us that we can build a home anywhere we go. You've kind of been saying to me something like, babe, we build really good homes. Because even though like this is a completely different place than our house in the US, we still have been making it pretty cozy over the last 6 months, and there's still a lot to do. But for example, our living room, we really like it now, and we're very happy with it. And so I think that's been a nice thing about our relationship, that we just kind of know, like, you know, it doesn't matter where we are. Let's talk about food for a second. How does Ben like the food? And I'm going to throw you a second question. Has Ben found any German comfort foods?
I like the food. I like the German traditional food. I like the Bavarian food. I like Schweinehaxe a whole lot. I'm a big meat eater and potato eater, so this is like very, very good food for me. Schnitzel. I might spontaneously combust into a schnitzel one of these days. And that's
definitely your favorite food.
Onto comfort food. Schnitzel is...
But you like chicken schnitzel now.
I like chicken schnitzel a lot.
Like that's what you make at home a lot.
Yeah, I make chicken schnitzel at home a lot. And I will get chicken schnitzel out and about, but I usually will get the...
pork.
The Wiener Is that...
Vienna style.
Yeah. Vienna. I'm not a big veal guy growing up on a cattle farm.
Like your traditional Vienna schnitzel is veal.
Yeah, growing up on a beef farm,
you don't want to eat veal.
I've seen the process. I don't like veal. I just ethically don't agree with it. And whatever. Don't judge me. Don't come at me.
Standard much. No, I'm just kidding.
But the other comfort foods, Stadtmante. Did I say it right?
Sot.
I said Stadt. God, Stadtmante. It's like this hazelnut pudding. I had it on one of my first days here. Still going strong.
Guys, Germans just do puddings and like desserts and all of that just a lot better than
you guys
the US.
do hazelnut well.
Yeah.
You know, like the only thing that I'm kind of missing dessert-wise from the US is like the popsicles, like the orange, grape, and cherry one.
Yeah, but I think we just haven't seen those yet at the store because we have those. Just the simple popsicles, we have those. But German stores are a lot more seasonal with a lot of things. And so popsicles aren't easy to get in the winter.
Yeah, which I also learned about the seasonal thing. Yeah. The German infatuation with asparagus, which I had a white asparagus, and it was awesome.
For the first time.
Seasonal foods are like a really big thing here. Like we were talking to someone about the wedding, and we wanted to do, is it Flammkuchen?
Pflaumenkuchen.
Pflaumen.
Or like
Pflaumen. Yeah, it's Zwetschgedachi. That's the one.
That's the Bavarian word.
The baker was like, well, they're not going to be in season. And I was like, oh. And that's just not a thing. In like the US, they'll give you the most out of season fruit known to mankind if you want it.
Generally, though, I feel like in terms of groceries, you really like German foods and like German groceries. I feel like we both have liked grocery shopping better in Germany for the sake of just the products.
The products, yes, for sure. Especially the produce. One thing that I am curious about, I want to go to northern Germany and see what their cuisine is like. Because I know it's like more fish heavy and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious of that.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure. And because you just mentioned the wedding, someone asked, habt ihr beide noch mal eine Hochzeitsfeier mit deiner Familie in München gehabt? So have you had another wedding celebration with your family in Munich? The answer is not yet. But we're about to have one in June. We're currently planning it. It's actually quite a big wedding, like a normal-sized wedding. Last time in the US, it was just a tiny wedding with just Ben's immediate family. But yeah, this is gonna be like a full wedding. And yeah, we're preparing for that, which means that's taking up a lot of our time. But we're excited.
Yeah, it's very intense right now, but it'll be worth it.
Okay, let's talk about sports for a second. Has Ben become an FC Bayern fan? Which I feel like that's a very intriguing question.
I was excited whenever you said sports, but this one I'm almost afraid to say on the internet. So I have become an FC Bayern fan. Over the course of 5 years, her brother is kind of
a big FC Bayern. My whole family is a big FC Bayern.
He took me to a game, and then he's like, "You want to watch this match with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
And Ben has always liked soccer.
Yeah,
but you were a fan of what team?
Hold on, that's what I'm going to explain. So as an American, we don't have allegiance really to soccer teams, and at the time, whenever I first started getting into soccer, football, the only way that I knew about it was playing FIFA. I was like 12 at the time, and I just started playing with the best team, and it was Real Madrid. And I only knew Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, and I was always more partial to Ronaldo personally, but like I love Messi too. And I became a Real Madrid fan. And if anyone knows anything about Real Madrid and Bayern, they don't like each other, especially in the Champions League. They've run into each other like a handful of times in the last 10 years, over the last decade. And unfortunately, the majority of the time it's went Real Madrid's way. At the time, I was celebrating it, but now I kind of feel like I'm just going to stay quiet. I'm just going to stay quiet on that part of my life here in Munich talking to fans. But I love Bayern. I want to go to a game again here soon. I love the culture around it. I truly do think that this year is a special year to be in Munich for Bayern. It's just
They just won the championship again.
They're going to the final of the Pokal and then the league, and they're still in the Champions League. So, it could be the year of the treble, and you can feel the city, like, whenever it's a game day, like, come alive. Yeah. You can see the people in the pedestrian zone, and it's just something that's so foreign to me that, like, I love soccer culture and, like, the ultra culture. Mm-hmm. And now that I get to see it, I'm a Bayern fan.
Okay, but you totally forgot to mention that one big event that happened the other day that really like revealed that you were an FC Bayern fan at heart now, because the other day FC Bayern was playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Yeah. For the first time in your life, when the two teams had met each other, you were rooting for Bayern.
Yeah, I told you that I was like, this is
weird.
This is weird.
Rooting against your old team.
Another big thing is that I just don't feel a personal connection to the players at Real Madrid anymore. Yeah. So like, and now I have a real personal connection to not necessarily the players,
but to the place.
To the place. Yeah. So like, Mia san Mia. Thank you, Bayern.
Okay, we already talked about your work permit, but people also want to know, is Ben's working experience different than in the US?
Yeah. I mean, with the intensity of the move and everything, I haven't probably put as much effort and time into like finding clients as I should, but the few people that I have kind of talked to, they'll talk to me in English, but I feel like business-wise, they will want to conduct communication in German, especially whenever it's a smaller company and they don't have like, someone dealing with negotiations and stuff like that, which that's who I'm trying to pick up right now here.
But yeah, really, I feel like we've been so busy. I mean, you also work with me. You work on my channel a lot. We've been very busy just with our private life. I feel like that was another question where someone asked, have I been able to put out more or less content than before the move? Definitely less content, even though I technically have more content to share because the move, like there's a lot of stuff that we're experiencing every day. But one of the main reasons for us to move here was to spend a lot of time with my family, my friends and everything. And so I will say, both of our like work-life balance has been a lot more towards life than it was before the move. And that's not just because work-life balance is valued a lot more in general in Germany, that's part of it too, but it's also because like I basically haven't said no to barely anything since we moved here, because every time that there is a birthday, every time that there's an event, like I want to be there because I haven't been able to be there for the last 9 years, most of the last 9 years.
And almost like you owe it to your parents and like your family in a sort of way. Like it's time that they're also trying to catch up on. So we basically haven't been working as much in general for the last half year. Obviously, the group trips are also work in a way. They're part of our business. But I've also been needing you a lot, helping me out with video editing and stuff like that. And then we've traveled to like Strasbourg. That was technically a business trip. Yeah. We've just traveled to the US, back home. And there's just been so much going on that I feel like you've barely had time to like fully set up like a client base. Yeah, but I feel like the groundwork is set. Like I've worked a lot on my website. And also I know I said it in a prior video, I still am wanting to make a YouTube channel. It's just
taking a little bit longer.
I have a big workload from clients in the US right now that I have to get done. So
a little bit longer.
Give me a little bit of grace here.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about social life. How did Ben find friends?
Actually, I'd say that most of my friends here are like people that I've met mutually through you. Yeah. Like I love her friends and a lot of like her friends' boyfriends and stuff like that. So they're all like really nice people. I would say that I have a few like acquaintances here that are more like texting, like and then film people. It's kind of fun to have people that you can kind of bounce like creativity off of, or like, just be like, yo, let's plan a shoot at some point. I admittedly need to get out and find some more people.
But again, I feel like we haven't really had the capacity for a lot of new friends. Like there have even been people that have been like wanting to be our friends. Yeah. We just haven't had time yet. We're so busy with like all of the old friends, so to say. I feel like I just recently finally was able to see all of the people that were like on my list at least once. Like there were some people that it took like months until we could find a time to even meet each other. Yeah. And it's been very, very busy, guys.
Yeah, I also just keep a small
friend circle.
Friend circle.
But
So,
I do think if at some point I would also like to meet new friends as well. I mean, I have all my old friends, but like so far there hasn't been any capacity.
Yeah. I mean, if you're cool and you think that we could be friends, hit me up.
But when are we free in the next few weeks? Like, there's always people visiting too. That's been a big thing too. There's like every time anyone we know comes to Munich, and we kind of know a lot of Americans and other people that visit. Then of course we meet up with them, and there's 2 more people that are supposed to come to Munich in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then we're going on another group trip.
Yeah.
Then we have a few weeks until it's our wedding. Then your family is coming for that.
Yeah.
We're going to travel with them. It's a lot of, we say Freizeitstress in German. Free time stress. Yeah. We're busy.
Yeah. So maybe next year will be the year that I get
to
some
find
friends. And then maybe the year after that will be the year that I actually settle in.
Okay, one fun question. What's the fastest Ben has been driving on the German Autobahn?
170 kilometers an hour, which honestly
we'll
isn't that fast. But like, I mean, it's fast. But compared to how some of these guys drive, nothing.
A lot of people drive over 200 kilometers an hour. And then, because we just mentioned it, let's talk about traveling and trips, because a lot of people have asked about that. Which trips have you done? And which trips do you plan on doing in the next few months? So obviously after we got here, we had the 2 group trips over Christmas, which we went to Salzburg, Vienna, Berlin, Dresden, Prague. Karlovy Vary in Czech Republic.
Wolfgang, which is like a small
Austria,
lake.
Village. Then we went to Strasbourg in February and to Heidelberg in March, which Strasbourg was a first for you.
Yes, which was
Heidelberg
awesome.
we'd been to before. And then we just went back to the US, which basically was a trip, but of course to a place we already knew. Then we have another group trip coming up where we're going to Rothenburg ob der Tauber.
Yes.
We've been there before, but so excited to go back. Würzburg, which is going to be
very
the first
excited for that.
And Cologne, also a first.
Yeah, all 3 of those spots, huge, like, spots for architecture.
Yeah. And then when your family's going to be in town for the wedding, we're going to go down to Italy.
Oh, yeah.
Probably Venice and Rome, maybe a couple stops in between.
Oh, yeah.
And then we are kind of playing with the thought of maybe going to Greece in September, but we'll see if we can fit all of that in our schedule. And in terms of just city trips, we definitely have places like Amsterdam, super high up on the list, Budapest, Hungary in general.
I need to see the Országos, Hungarian Parliament. I want to see Paris.
Paris, UK, London, like
Spain.
Lots of places on the list.
I have a work permit for 4 years. We can stay.
Yeah, pretty much, all the places he's never been to, and a lot of places that I've never been to. I've never been to Portugal, for example. I've been wanting to go there forever, but I'm like constantly going, like, for example, now that we're going to Italy with your family, because they haven't been, I keep going back to the places I've already been to because first I've been showing you, now we're showing other people, and I personally think that going to Venice from Munich is just something you gotta do. It's like a 5-hour drive. Venice is freaking magical. And your family is also so big into history, so they definitely wanted to go to Rome. And
that's what I was gonna say in terms of like all the spots that we want to hit. Like, I've been hearing about these things my whole life, and she knows, like, I can talk about like the history of any of these cities, any of these spots. And then now that we finally have the chance to go see it, like, I really want to.
And we're going to. All right. I think we're going to have to cut it off here. There's so many questions left, but we're going to have to just do more Q&A videos for you guys in the future. If you have any other questions that weren't answered today, feel free to put them in the comment section of this video, and I'll be sure to add them to this long list. If you have German ancestry and want to check out if you can become a German citizen by descent, be sure to check out Athena Genealogy. Information is down below in the video description. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to Ben for being part of my videos.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys.
We appreciate all of the ongoing support, so thank you guys for that. On that note, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment for the algorithm. We would really appreciate it. And with that, we're excited to see you next time. Tschüss.
Tschüss.